Well, hello again, everyone. It's me, Nick Michalak, and the spectacular Steve Frazier.
This is the 200th time that you've greeted everyone
Yes,
with
for a
such,
commentary
with
track.
Such salutations.
Yes. This is my 200th commentary, guys.
On the channel. We started this 8+ years ago.
Yes.
This has been crazy. 200!
Steve's 200 is coming up a little later in the year, so we'll celebrate that in a different way in that regard. But for this occasion, I've chosen John Carpenter's Big Trouble in Little China for our commentary selection for my 200th entry.
Yeah, well, congratulations.
So,
I've seen this movie a grand total of 1 time in my life.
Okay, that's fine.
And I didn't love it.
Okay.
So maybe it'll be better this time.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see.
Any which way, guys. So we are watching the film off of the Blu-ray. So if you got your own copy, get it off the timestamp of 0. Get those subtitles turned on, and we'll follow along with the film and sync up with a countdown to get going. So, in 3, 2, 1, play.
Is this the Scream Factory one?
I did not get that one. This is the original Fox Blu-ray. I opted not to get the Scream Factory one because they didn't do a new scan on it. They just had a lot of new bonus features.
There's a 4K now, right? Or no?
There is not.
Oh, there's not.
Because this is a Fox film now. It's owned by Disney, and they're stingy about this shit.
Got it.
I think the Scream Factory one is now out of print.
It might be.
So I checked around, and it was a bit pricey. I did go see that because Cinemark did all those classic series re-releases years and years ago. I got to see this on the big screen once.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I actually went to the theater and saw it that time I was like, man, I really do like this film. It was one of those Carpenter ones. Like, yeah, I grabbed it on DVD. I didn't watch it as much. I always watched like The Thing or Halloween or whatnot. I thought I really gravitated towards those more. I felt like when it was sat down in the theater, there was spread a couple of people in the middle of the day, but it was just a really, when you're captivated, focused, it really makes a difference.
I like that they start off at the end.
Yeah.
And, he's already said, like, oh, there's the big ball of flames and...
Right.
And blah, blah, blah. And, you're...
So it's an expectation of what's to come, without spoiling really anything.
Right.
And as the film goes on, as we end up seeing, the fact that they're setting it up here, saying like, oh, we're in Jack Burton's debt and everything, and the film takes a completely different turn that shows the character in a different light. I like how it goes along.
Now, I do not necessarily like magic and sorcery.
Yeah.
As if presented as reality.
Sure, yeah.
Like, if we're going to watch The Prestige, that's different.
Yes.
God, I fucking love that movie.
Oh, yeah.
I love magic.
Yeah.
Because it's illusion.
Right.
The Illusionist, also a good movie. That shit doesn't do anything for me. And it's a good setup.
Yeah. It sets up an intrigue.
And I definitely don't mind the intrigue and the setup and the story. It's just, it goes a little beyond what I'm comfortable with.
Okay.
As far as, like, comfortable is the wrong word. It goes beyond what I think is, I don't know. Well, but it's not believable for me.
At least it's a film it's a comedy.
Right.
It's playing its farce for a large degree. So you're not trying to hard and fast delve into like serious fucking shit.
Right. But even like the one that he did after this,
Prince of Darkness.
Right, that one is presented that way.
Yeah.
But it works in a weird way.
It's weird.
It's weird, right?
It's a weird movie, full stop. But I mean, you're now. I don't think you're terribly alone in that, because the big thing about this thing is like it was the last big studio film Carpenter did, because I don't think the studio understood the film whatsoever. I think it's too far ahead of its own time. Not just the comedy aspect, but all the Chinese mysticism, stuff like that. A lot of stuff we're going to see in this thing looks like because Carpenter was looking at Chinese cinema. And that stuff doesn't get over on the shore until like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon 15 years later. Where like Western audiences started to see that type of cinema where people are flying around in fantastical scenarios with sword battles in midair and stuff like that. And Western studio doesn't know shit about that. And at least this was at least at a time where like the studio is not micromanaging everything. So they're not really looking and breathing down his neck as much. So they're not nitpicking what he's doing and trying to readjust every little thing he does. He goes off, shoots the movie, then presents the assembly cut and was like, that's not exactly the film we thought you were making. And linking back to Eddie Murphy, they were kind of, in a way, they were kind of racing against a release date in this thing, because at the same time, Paramount is doing The Golden Child with Eddie Murphy.
Right.
Which they did court Carpenter to do, but he was already, I don't know if he was directly signed on to this one, but he was already involved with the process of making this one, and he went off with this one. And they mainly got Carpenter involved because they knew Paramount was doing the other film, which was dealing with a lot of the same Chinese mystical type of stuff. And they were racing.
Shout out to Dean Cundy, by the way.
Yeah. This was the last time the two of them would work together on a film, too.
Ever?
Yeah.
Was there heat?
Last time, I don't know if there was any falling out. It just, because we'll get back around the Golden Child, but they had done the thing together and that bombed. And then they kind of split off, went ways. Cundy starts working with Zemeckis, doing like Romancing the Stone, Back to the Future, a couple other things here and there. And Carpenter's going off working with other people, swinging around back to this one, where he's got more money and resources, so I want to go back with Cundy. And this one also bombs. I don't know exactly the bomb thing, but it's usually like a film you put a lot of effort and work into, it kind of bombs, and you kind of like, may want to go on different directions, because Cundy's, again, he's already working with Zemeckis, he's going to work with Spielberg, he's going to work with all these people, so he's already got attached to guys who are bringing him up for much bigger films.
Right, and so making him more money.
Yeah. So if he can attach his toe to those guys much more, that's fine, because he's going to shoot, I think it shoots Roger Rabbit as well.
Oh, really?
And the two other Back to the Future films, so.
I didn't know he did Roger Rabbit.
I think he did, because he works with Zemeckis regularly for a couple of years.
I love the hat. It's a great hat.
Yeah. But the Golden Child thing was, okay, since Golden Child's being made almost at the exact same time, they hired Carpenter mainly because he works fast. He doesn't waste anyone's time or money.
And they wanted to get it out first.
So they're pushing along at a clip, because I was watching an interview that Carpenter said, like, retrospective one, where he's like, well, if you were kind of dawdling around, or it's like he didn't want to do any more effects work on the film that was necessary. He wanted to get things as lean and tight as possible so he can make sure that he can get the production timeline on the right levels. So it was like, it was a thing just like trying to get it out soon enough. It comes out in July. Golden Child comes out in December, so they had plenty of time ahead of that. But Golden Child makes $149 million at the box office because it's Eddie Murphy. That's all they have to sell is Eddie Murphy at the time.
Right.
This one makes $11 million. Off of a budget upwards of 25. It bombed hard.
Yeah.
Because also, this is like a week and a half before Aliens hits theaters from Fox as well. And so, which one are you going to hedge your bets on? The one that the kind of comedy mysticism film that you don't quite get exactly what they're doing, because...
Right.
Or you're going to hedge your bets on James Cameron doing a sequel to one of the biggest hits you've ever had.
This is basically a foreign film.
Right.
Essentially.
Yeah. Yeah. They don't really get it. Even the trailers, they don't get it. They didn't really know how to sell it, because they didn't really understand what Carpenter was doing with the film.
Well, I know who speaks highly of this movie, and that's Alan Howarth.
Okay. Yeah.
He told me as such when I talked to him. And this has really become a cult classic, because I know many people that love this movie.
Mm-hmm. And it's also interesting because I was looking at Kurt Russell's filmography like right before this, and there were not a lot of films that he got hits off of. Like, he had a supporting role in Silkwood, which is a big Meryl Streep awards film. But
fuck yes. God damn it, everybody go watch Silkwood right now!
But he was in, like, Used Cars with Zemeckis, which I don't think made money.
I don't think it did either.
Because that was the whole thing going into Romancing, so he had a bunch of bombs. If he didn't get a hit, he'd be done.
When was Bird on a Wire?
That was, like, a little bit after this, I think.
Okay.
But there's like that and another...
Overboard?
I think that was right after this one.
Okay. So that's where he met Goldie, right? Was Overboard?
Him and Goldie, yeah. That's a good one. Good one for him. Yeah, Bird on a Wire. No, that's Mel.
Oh,
Mel
you're right.
And Goldie.
You're okay. That's where I got confused.
Tequila Sunrise is him, Mel, together.
Yeah,
Anything like that.
It's a three-way.
They look a little bit alike at the time,
yeah.
so that's fine. But anyway, they both got mullets.
Well, it's the pairings that I mixed up.
Goldie and everything, yeah. But yeah, there were just a couple of films that didn't really perform from before this, and so he's trying to hitch back with Carpenter after a couple of films he did that he enjoyed working with.
They're buddies, right?
Yeah,
so it's like maybe he was doing him a solid.
Yeah.
Like, hey, the studio doesn't quite understand my movie.
Yeah.
You want to help me out and attach your name to it.
Right. And the fact is, Russell gets the idea behind it. Because the idea behind Jack Burton is that he's supposed to be the stereotypical American hero. He's playing a riff on basically John Wayne here. You don't get quite as much now, but you'll see it later on as he's swagging around and kind of talking in a certain way.
Yeah.
He's not the hero of the film. He's the comedy sidekick, but he's presented as he's supposed to be the hero of the film. And that's what the studio really didn't get.
Nick! I think there is something so charming about him.
Oh, yeah.
And this type of role works so well.
Yeah.
Where in the world does one find a pair of sunglasses like that?
Which ones? The white ones?
The white ones, yeah.
There's the slits. That's almost like a Randy Savage school of fucking accessories.
Maybe.
It's not far from, not exactly anything, but he always had something like, I don't know how you see through this shit.
I did get a kick out of the idea that Jack Burton refers to himself in the third person.
Yeah.
That
It's like someone perpetuating his own myth.
yeah, I mean, in this era, there wasn't a lot of that third person.
No.
I mean, I guess Ricky Henderson might have been. Trying to remember if he was this early or if he was later. R.I.P. Ricky Henderson.
George likes spicy chicken.
Well,
Well, the boots do. They just don't match anything in the outfit.
Burton's?
Yeah. I don't know what kind of boots those are, but they're just peculiar. Like these brown canvas things.
Oh, yeah. Looks like they should be in Braveheart or something. Now, the gist is that they've taken the wrong girl?
No, they have taken the right girl.
Okay.
They just don't know for what reasons as of yet.
And the right girl is this guy's girlfriend?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, the wrong girl comes with the blonde who also has green eyes. Okay.
Yeah, she gets twisted up. And
Yeah.
everything.
Okay, it's coming back to me.
Yeah.
I like that his name is Wang. That makes me happy. Puma.
There was a thing, because Carpenter was looking at like a lot of 1940s like comedies. I think Howard Hawks produced a couple, and he realized in those films that like everyone talked like a mile a minute. And so he was like telling everyone he wanted the comedy dialogue to be rapid fire in this whole thing, just keep momentum going. Because the worst thing you can do in a comedy is just have it slogged down and it's going nowhere and no one's got any rhythms.
Senior citizen tourists on this Chinatown tour bus. He's also charming.
Yeah.
Oh, not the pigeons. This quote-unquote tour bus, which is actually a school bus, is very bizarre.
It's a peculiar-looking design, yeah.
Also, who would take a tour bus through Chinatown? Like, is that really a thing?
And it's certainly one of the most famous Chinatowns in America. San Francisco.
San Francisco's Chinatown?
Yeah.
I mean, San Francisco is closer to China than most things, yeah. So it makes sense that if there were some Chinese that escaped and went somewhere else, that they would land on the west coast of America.
Bay, yeah.
I mean, there's a hell of a bridge there. They can.
Yeah.
I've never been to San Francisco, and I've always wanted to. I wonder if any of this was like a backlot, or...
I feel like this is probably a backlot, because there's just a lot of action and special effects staged here. It would feel a lot better to have a controlled environment. They dress it well.
Yeah, I mean...
They got the nice haze going on.
It feels like, an alley and a...
Right. It's L.A. Young, who apparently was not actually involved with the film originally. I saw an interview with him saying, like, he was just, like, delivering a package or something like that for the film, and Carpenter just saw him. He probably just knew him just by sight, and he asked him, "Are you involved with the film?" He said, "No." "Do you want to be?" "Yeah." So he just put him in the film. And he said nothing but nice things about Carpenter.
Like, what would he have been doing? He was just at the studio?
He said in the interview he was just delivering a package or something like that, or just dropping by for running an errand or something like that.
I find it highly ironic that a Chinaman just walked onto a set of a movie that,
with a bunch of other Chinese stunt guy in the business, and he's not involved with the film.
Right. Yeah, it would make sense that this was a
I mean, he literally said like everybody who was Asian was in the fucking movie who was in Hollywood. Because I mean,
there's 400 Chinamen in this movie.
Yes, there are.
That knife looks fake. So we got the red team against the yellow team, is what it boils down to, right?
The red and the gold. I mean, it's so interesting when Carpenter's working with a studio, he's got time. He's kind of got time. He's got money more than anything. It's interesting to see how he stages the action, because here there's a lot of camera setups, a lot of edits. But if you go back and watch Escape from New York, which you're not terribly fond on, it's just most of that stuff just like long steady cam takes. There's not a lot of setups, not a lot of cuts. And just try to do everything one shot and just get it done in like 5 minutes.
I remember being a bigger fan of that than I was of this.
Okay.
There's something that loses me about halfway through New York, though. And I can't put my finger on it because I haven't watched it in forever.
Okay.
But I'm sure that we're going to do it eventually on here.
We'll get around to it, yeah.
So maybe I should rewatch it like now so that if we cover it at the end of the year, it'll be...
I'll lend you my 4K.
All right, that sounds great. I don't know if it's streaming anywhere, but...
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's like...
But this is a major production.
Right.
Here.
If he was working off of like a $4 million budget, he wouldn't be doing this much stuff. It wouldn't be this elaborate. There wouldn't be this many camera setups.
Yeah, this is very Tarantino, only without the gore.
Yeah.
All of this kind of action comedy of going through walls and through like it's fun.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a big kung fu guy.
Sure.
Maybe that's part of the reason I don't like this movie as much. It just didn't, like, this didn't excite me as a kid.
Okay.
Or whenever I saw it, I was probably a teenager. Like, I guess in general, I don't love Asian-themed storylines. It's just not my flavor,
Yeah, huh.
Now it's the fucking Sharks against the Jets here, and then all of a sudden people come out of the sky.
Fucking Lord Raiden shows up.
And
they totally ripped it off from this. From Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat, right.
Right.
Like, I remember... I don't know, I must have watched this after Mortal Kombat was a thing. For the first time. Because...
Definitely picked it up
fast.
Yeah, the whole look.
This screams Mortal Kombat to me.
Yeah.
Or maybe I've just seen, like, clips something.
Of it.
Yeah. Because I feel like I watched it before Mortal Kombat was a thing.
That'd been a long old time. That was like 95?
5?
95 was the movie, at least.
Right. It is kind of nice that they keep cutting back to...
Burton and Wang. Just like, what
and
the
they're
fuck
like,
is going on?
Now, I will say that from, my mantra, the it could happen to me theory.
Yeah.
And normal person being thrust into extraordinary circumstances. Yeah. That part of the story works for me.
Yeah.
Jack Burton...
is totally the audience surrogate.
Correct. And, like, there are even moments in the movie where he's speaking as if, like, none of this makes sense.
Yeah.
Somebody explain it to me. Which is how I feel right now.
Which is a good thing to have that. It's like, if people are, like, watching, like, this is really preposterous, and the character just...
accepts
parrots that.
Yeah.
That it can kind of rub you back into it. That they're being aware of the fact that there's a lot of stuff in the film that just seems completely outside of the realm of, like, being able to understand what the fuck's going on. But this is a good Steadicam sequence here.
So, the low pan guy, I never remember his name.
And James Hong's the actor.
James Hong, that's right. He's in his 90s right now.
Yeah, he's still around, as far as I know.
He just had all kinds of acclaim last year when
I think he got a Walk of Fame star.
When he was in Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Very outside your flavor.
Oh, I hated it. Hated it. But I had to buy that sumbitch to go on my shelf.
Your Oscar collection.
Yes.
Best Picture collection.
It's literally the only one that I've started and not finished. I got to the hot dog fingers and I was like, I'm out.
This film only doesn't go that far.
Yeah, but there's a lot of like...
Yeah, there's a lot of weirdness in this one.
The other, like, it isn't just that Russell doesn't know what's going on and doesn't understand it. There is the subtext, well, not even subtext. It's the story is that Wang does understand it.
Yeah.
And does know what's going on. And that's what, like, if it's both a blessing and a curse, right? Because if both people didn't understand it, then you could really go on the journey together and like whatever.
Right.
But the fact that one of them is trying to explain it to the other one who doesn't believe it makes it for a better story, I think.
Okay. I mean, it is such the comedy thing is the fact that Wang he proves throughout the film that he's completely capable of doing it himself, but he feels so inadequate that he needs to have Burton, the big American hero guy, come in and save the day for him. I mean, that way, it's kind of a subtle piece of comedy. And again, like 86, like, what major studio film had this many Asian actors in it? Had like a cast almost like 99% Asian. It just didn't happen, as far as I could tell.
Yeah, not really.
Not that I know. Nothing you're trying to market as a mainstream blockbuster film.
Right, like, I mean...
You maybe have like a period drama or something else like that, a prestige film, but nothing like you're trying to break up $100 million or something.
Right, I was going to say, you've got movies like Enter the Dragon.
Yeah.
You know, a decade prior.
Right.
Which is a very specific type of thing.
Yeah.
And then you've got movies like The Last Emperor that won Best Picture a year later.
Yeah.
But, which I've never watched because I'm like, eh. It's like 4 hours long.
Right.
It's, I don't know.
Sure.
Maybe I'll give it a go sometime. Don't judge me.
But still, in terms of like a summer blockbuster thing, in an 86 mindset, you have a certain picture in your head of what you want to have as what you expect, whatnot. I'm just saying, it might just add another thing on top of the fact that Fox just didn't really have a reception of exactly what Carpenter was going for. Screenwriter W.D. Richter, who he wrote the 78 Body Snatchers film. He did much more off-the-wall Buckaroo Banzai with Peter Weller. So,
wait, the same guy that wrote Body Snatchers wrote this?
Yes.
That blows my mind.
Wild. Yeah. Yeah, just trying to see it from a certain perspective what the studio was kind of chasing, and then maybe didn't really kind of have a full conceptualized vision of it in their heads of how to really market it at the back end.
Well, yeah, you kind of got to wonder who was the audience.
Right. Because again, I mean, at the time, like I said, I mean, Kurt's a recognizable star, but like I said, in the last couple of films he made didn't do a lot of business. Carpenter's got a couple. I mean, the last couple of films Carpenter did were pretty good, but they're not box office hits. The Thing bombed.
Well,
Christine didn't do terribly well. I don't think Starman did very well.
Is The Thing becoming a cult classic at this point, or is it still too early? Like, we're not in the home video boom yet.
It's been, well, by the time they're starting production, it's only been like 3 years. So VHS stuff is just really starting up. Cable stuff's starting going. I don't think they really kind of have a realization of it yet. I don't think it's quite gotten as far along as it will get. I mean, Carpenter's still kind of going off of Halloween and The Fog and Assault Precinct 13, a reputation within the industry of being able to make films that are quick and efficient and stuff like that. But, I don't know.
Great character. love that hairstyle. And by love, I mean don't love, but it's awesome.
Appreciate.
Yeah, it's awesome for this scene.
Yeah. And King Cattrall's doing a very interesting performance. She's like hamming it up a lot.
You think she's overacting?
I don't know. I don't think she's overacting. I just think she's just
like extra.
No. I'm not saying in a bad way. I feel like she's doing something with
okay.
It feels almost like a throwback, almost like a 40s comedy performance to a certain degree. I don't just, it's invoking a different style than we would have had at the time. Almost like this self-serious journalist that's taking herself so seriously that it tips it back to the end of being a comedy performance. Like an over-accentuated type of performance, almost a caricature of sorts.
Yeah, I get it.
I've heard a lot of people kind of go off in the different direction, not really liking what she did in the film.
Well, I don't think there's anything that she did specifically.
Sure.
That would, you know what I mean? Like, I could see people not being a fan of the movie.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine people would say, I'm not a fan because of her.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She looks very familiar, too. Earthquake. Oh, wait, no. Earthquake would make too much sense.
Now, a lot of the visual effects, the entire visual effects were done by Richard Edlund, who came up from ILM, but he started working on... He worked on Ghostbusters, Fright Night, he would do the effects on the first Die Hard film, a lot of different things. He worked on Masters of the Universe as well, which he used a lot of the same sort of effects on that. And he was always using high-resolution film stock, like 65mm stuff. So when you optic a composite from one generation to the next, you're not losing the quality of it. That's why it looks so sharp.
Well, that's actually really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand anything that's happening. And I think the comedy that they're going for, because I don't understand what's happening, doesn't come off as funny.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because,
all right.
like, I think you have to have a general understanding of things before you can decide what...
Right, if you're too confused, then it doesn't strike you because your head's in a different place.
Right. And I feel like that's where I'm at in this movie. Like,
okay.
Like, it's just so bizarre that, like, my brain kind of shuts off. And it's like, give me, like, the interactions between these people because they're at least human.
Right. But at least having this conversation at least illuminates the fact that maybe in 86 it just was too far above people's heads.
Well, I think that's 100% accurate because it's too far above my head in 2025.
Yeah.
Almost 40 years later. Oh, God.
That's a long old time away.
You ever heard that thing about how if you can see the white go all the way around,
then
that means they're crazy? Yeah, I'm with you, lady. And I know she's been in stuff too, and I can never remember her name.
The redhead?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yes, me too, Jack Burton. I am very much with you. Somebody tell me what the hell is going on. And it could not even be, it could be not the truth.
Peculiar, her name is Kate Burton.
Kate Burton.
Oh. Grey's Anatomy scandal. First things pop up on her. Summary on Wikipedia.
I didn't watch Grey's Anatomy, but I'm aware of it. I bet she was in, like, a supporting role in some weird movie that I've watched 100 times as a kid that, you know, is...
She's been all over the place on TV. Long time between movies. She was much more TV.
Yeah, some people just have that TV career.
This is her first film role. First Wives Club, Ice Storm.
Ice Storm?
Yeah.
Oh, that's got to be it.
That's the Ang Lee flick.
Yes,
right?
God, I love that movie.
She was in the Max Payne movie.
It's the Ice Storm. That's what it is.
Probably, yeah.
That's 100% what it is. I got it. Great movie. The Ice Storm, 1997. Ang Lee directed. My gal Christina Ricci's in it. Elijah Wood is in it. Oh, yeah. Sigourney Weaver is in it. Kevin Kline.
Awards.
Kevin Kline, yeah.
Lots of awards.
It's a drama. What's his name? Spider-Man. The first one.
Maguire.
Yeah. He's in it. I mean, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, if you like dramas.
I remember that racking up the awards.
70s dramas. Set in the 70s. Egg Shen.
Yeah, after our Prince of Darkness commentary, where you're commenting on Victor Wong's
Bell's palsy,
we did confirm that he did have a bout of it. Maybe, I think he might have had 2 bouts of it, maybe. I think he passed away quite a while ago.
Yeah. Yeah, you can have multiple rounds.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Jim Ross had more than a few. It hit him hard.
And then sometimes, you can come back from it, and sometimes after more than one, you just don't.
Yeah, he passed away in 2001.
Wow.
Long away. He was born in 1927.
Well, then. 2001 was
so he
only...
was almost 50 at this point.
Yeah, he's 15 years later. I wonder if he got to see Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
1920. I can't make math anymore, man. My head's all fucked. It's about 60 or so at this point.
What'd you say, 27?
27.
All right, yeah, so he's 58-ish. He's all sweaty.
Well, the rain.
Oh, you're right. It's rain, not sweat. All right. So, he's just a friend?
Yeah.
Okay. But he's a bus driver, and apparently the resident expert on Lopan.
Yes. Mysticism and all that shit. Yeah, they go into more like he's been hunting this guy, whatnot. He's been waiting to kind of fates intertwined for ages. This makes for engaging commentary.
Well, sure, right, yeah.
We've got a dynamic here.
And it's not that it's not entertaining. I just like it when I can follow along with logic and reasoning.
Mm-hmm.
I understand the get your truck back aspect. Like,
yeah,
that makes sense to me. He's in it
just to get his property
to get his property, right.
Because his insurance ain't working with him nowhere.
Right.
Like, if he could file a claim right now, he'd be fine. But it's like, I don't know what the policy number is in the truck, and I don't have the truck no more.
How would you be able to see?
This is nice shit here.
Like, it's great, but why is the water so clear? And if it's salt water, didn't they say it was seawater? You can't open your eyes in that shit.
I don't know.
I don't understand why the rice paddy hat guys drop out of the sky. Like, if you want to tell me that the Lopan David Hong is like a...
James Hong.
James Hong is David Lopan. James Hong is, 8 million years old. Great hair.
Yeah.
Great hair. Chinamen sometimes have really great heads of hair and really, really the worst facial hair.
Oh, a little ratty.
Yeah. So, if you want to tell me that he's, a centuries old whatever that is manifesting himself as a man.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm down with, like, that makes sense to me. But...
And he's trapped in this curse.
Oh, right. I forgot about the curse.
He has to marry a woman with green eyes for some other... to break the freaking hex or something like that on him.
Right.
So he can be a man
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So, because this is the actual Lopan?
Yeah, essentially. This is the physical embodiment.
But he's able to be the other guy.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't he be the other guy all the time?
I don't know.
Roll credits. Because
credits.
This is what I don't like.
Right.
So, if the only objective is to marry a woman with green eyes, there are millions of people with green eyes. It doesn't have to be a Chinaman, right?
They do show that it has to pass a certain ritual test type of thing later on. So it's a couple hitches along the way.
But why wouldn't he just pick, an American or an Irish lady with green eyes? How do we feel about this makeup?
I think it's pretty good. They get the kind of the translucent
spots,
layers and all that.
Yeah.
It's really nicely done.
The ratty hair, though. I can't get past the ratty hair.
Yeah, apparently the fact that, because Steve Johnson, he's a big effects guy. He worked for Edlund at the time. He also worked on Predator for him too. And he was really excited going up to meet Carpenter because, him and Bottin changed the game and everything.
Right.
And the fact is, Carpenter hated, because everything on the thing was just so insanely stressful. And it just went over budget, went over schedule. And he was so excited to meet Carpenter. And Carpenter's like, I hate effects guys. I hate this entire experience I had at the other film. It's just like he was dashing the guy's entire expectations.
Right, because there was some sort of issue, right, between Carpenter and Bottin that, Bottin was being took too long, and...
Well, Bottin was 24/7 for a fucking year working and everything, going into exhaustion. He got get hospitalized at a certain point. He overdid where they had to plunge himself off on Stan Winston along the way. So I think it was just demands of time and time constraints and everything they had going on. It was just way too stressful. I just didn't want to have to deal with that type of thing on this film where they're trying to be succinct and get to a release date they have already set for the whole thing. You got to have the Murphy film. It was I can't deal with that. I can't have some guy going off and taking 12 months to get everything decided. I need simple, to the point, get it done. No elaborate bullshit. And so Johnson said in the interview, this was a very short one on YouTube somewhere, but he was just saying, like, that's when he realized what you have to do is service what the director wants. It's not about you going in trying to impress people about what you can do and trying to go off the hilt. Do what services what the film needs.
Okay, well. we're about halfway there. I don't know if we're not.
Oh, there's anything particular about a midpoint.
Right,
really.
that's what I was trying to think
sure.
of, was a midpoint. I thought him meeting Lopan in person would be a good midpoint. But it's a little lopsided.
Those boots are
they're
peculiar.
weird. They're weird.
They just don't go with jeans at all.
Yeah, why wouldn't they just put him in regular cowboy boots? He looks like the kind of guy that would wear cowboy boots.
Yeah.
He might have been wearing cowboy boots in Backdraft. Backdraft.
Bring that up very often.
Maybe I should make that my 200th commentary. I don't know if it'd be very exciting for us to talk about. There would be stuff to talk about.
It's a fairly long one, ain't it?
No.
No?
I don't think it's any more than 2 hours. We could watch it with your laser disc, which you're holding in your hand right now.
I figured I'd pull it out and see if I find it. 2 hours 15.
2:15?
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Sides on the laser disc.
We've never watched a movie with your laser disc.
Well, it'd be hard because you have to flip the sides.
Oh,
and everything, so
that's
it
why.
couldn't do it
You're
straight
right.
through.
You're right. It's like when you had to watch Titanic on the double VHS.
Yeah.
Or WrestleMania 4.
Or he'd had a double VHS.
Did it really?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
It did initially. I think they pared it down when they kind of figured out technology, but that was probably when they were using those like super long play tapes that didn't have the best tracking issues. I think JFK had a double disc.
Oh yeah, 100%. I just picked up the 4K finally.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've owned every version of JFK.
There's a lot of cuts.
Like the VHS. I never owned a Laserdisc anything, but I had the VHS, a regular blue DVD, big fancy packaged Blu-ray, and now the big fancy packaged 4K. I own all the documentaries. I have a beautiful poster signed by Oliver Stone.
Nice.
It's not the JFK movie poster, it's the documentary.
The Revisited.
Yeah. It's a mini poster, so it's like an 11 by 17 mini poster for that. It's signed by Oliver Stone, which is like one of my more prized possessions. Fucking love JFK. Recently got to go to Dallas and be in that
Dealey Plaza.
Dealey Plaza. I got to
repository.
Yeah, I stood there in near tears. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck's going on in this movie. Oh, he's blowing up.
Checking the editors on the film. One of them, Mark Warner, nominated for Driving Miss Daisy after this.
I love it. Driving Miss Daisy had a great score. And it's one of the few movies that I actually love Dan Aykroyd in. Jessica Tandy became the oldest living Oscar winner when she won for Driving Miss Daisy.
On the other editor, Steve Markovich, he's done wide array. He did Valentine, Know What You Did Last Summer, Ninja Turtles 2, Jason Takes Manhattan.
Shut up!
Expendables 2 and Con Air and Prince of Darkness and Fire in the Sky. He's like all over the fucking place.
Well, any idiot that edited Manhattan.
And one of the other guys, Edward...
There were three
editors. This other guy, he edited also... Let me make sure I'm looking at editing. He's got credits on like freaking Running Man and Rocky 3, but I don't know if he's the main editor on those films.
Like, this is weird. And if you could just turn into this, why not be this all the time?
And his third editor, he edited Child's Play 3 and Body Bags and In the Mouth of Madness, Vampires, that awful 13 Ghost remake.
So he's got...
he's got quite a few Carpenters under his belt. Carpenter
Right.
kept him on for a while. The name looks vaguely familiar to me, so...
This is a pretty iconic looking character.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I've seen people dress up like this at conventions and stuff,
Okay.
so... Like, that's a neat little effect.
Yeah, the effect's really nice. Like I said, it's all real crisp.
He's got a bunch of regular nails and a couple cocaine nails there. And Wang's got a sawed-off. What is this gun that he's got? Like,
Looks like
it's so thin. Like, it's made out of little pipe.
being Odell Roby's Chicks with Guns video or some shit.
Yeah, no shit.
The Tech 9. The most popular gun in American crime.
When you absolutely have to kill every last motherfucker in the room, except no substitutes. Jackie Brown. I wish it would be hard, I think, to do a commentary on Jackie Brown.
It's so good. The 4K's coming out soon.
I know. Like, I think it's too talky. I know you talked about this in a channel update recently.
Yeah.
That I think sometimes these dramatic, talky movies, they're just hard. Like, there's not enough action. You know?
There's not enough plot developments fast enough for us to really have much of engagement.
Right, like people sitting around and talking is great if you're watching a movie.
Right.
But when we're trying to talk about what's happening,
Yeah.
we don't have a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
While people are sitting around talking.
Right.
Not to say that it's bad, it's just it doesn't make for good talking about the talking.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, we could have a lot to say about the cast.
Yeah,
Or,
oh my lord. Whole cast.
like, not a bad one in the bunch.
No, God, no. I feel De Niro is so under-recognized in that film. He's fucking amazing.
Yes.
Like, sometimes he's just sitting there doing nothing, but he's doing
everything.
Five different
He's
things
doing
at the
everything,
same time.
yeah.
He's so good.
What? I can't handle the fucking ricochet noise.
I know you hate that.
I hate it so bad. I mean, it's such a, like, 1960s.
It's the old friggin' sound library.
Right.
It's like the fucking Wilhelm scream. Don't fucking use it anymore. It's just never, ever again. It's too much of a fucking... The Wilhelm scream has become too much of an in-joke to take... You can't put it in a film anymore. You can't use it. Stop it. Don't ever do it. Not even as a joke. Stop it.
I don't mind it. At least when they do that, somebody is falling off of something and it makes sense.
It just draws attention to itself. It's a thing unto itself beyond the film.
There's a whole movie about it.
I'm sure there is. There's a documentary somewhere.
There is. I've seen it.
I know, just...
Like,
certain like sound effects just take on a life of themselves outside the films, and it's just like, well, you can't be immersed in the film when you put in something that has that kind of life outside of it. It's like, oh, you're just taking out the film for a moment.
Well, and that's how I feel about this fucking ricochet noise. Because... 9 times out of 10, I was listening for it there.
Yeah.
There's no, like, metal or whatever.
Right, what's it ricocheting off of is your deal.
Like, is it wood? Because it doesn't make that noise.
No. Metal, concrete, maybe. That's
not concrete. I'll never let go, Jack. That's a different context. Sorry.
Oh. Floating on a door somewhere.
Yeah. Remember back when you could just kiss somebody and
yeah, it was just a thing.
And it was just it is what it is, and
now you can't even pay someone a compliment without having a fucking
lawsuit,
lynch mob on your hands.
I'd also like to point out that the movie version, or the movie idea of what a sewer looks like is about as realistic as what the movie version of an air duct looks like.
Yeah.
As above, so below.
I think I mentioned that in the Manhattan commentary.
I'm sure we did.
Whoever's written a freaking sewer scene has never been inside a fucking sewer. This is not what it is. This is... Not at all.
We should do Chud. That have Reinhold in it.
90% of the film in the fucking sewer.
Yeah, I think it's Judge Reinhold.
Than the Ninja Turtles films.
Wonder if maybe I could rewatch that. Did you and Trent do those? The Turtles
I did
movies?
The first one. You never got around to the second.
Oh, okay. Oh, don't go that way. He does have a little John Wayne in him.
Yeah.
But I think that is actually inherent to Russell, not to this character.
Okay.
Because I've seen a lot of movies where he uses that cadence. And
I'm sure there's... Yeah.
Some people just have it, you know?
Yeah. He's taking out everyone single-handedly, and he can't get the fucking knife out of his boot.
Right. And, like, to your point, this guy's
more than capable at doing himself.
He's doing the fly around, he's jumping, he's kicking, he's...
Right.
You idiot. Like, that's funny to me.
Yeah. He's a buffoon. I mean, again, it's like 86. Is anyone really ready for the send-up of the American action hero quite yet? I don't know.
Well...
Because, you know, my last action hero they weren't ready for.
Even if so, it wouldn't have been in this context.
No.
Because I would argue that... I was going to say Die Hard, but maybe Lethal Weapon. Maybe by Die Hard for sure. By the time Die Hard comes around, I think, like it.
Yeah,
we're okay with it.
Yeah,
you know, it's official.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I guess Lethal Weapon is considered like an action movie.
It's not a... The sequels are more action-packed than the first film.
Correct.
Because I just rewatched that one for Christmas.
Like, it's a great movie.
Yeah.
But it's not as action movie as Die Hard.
Yeah. Lethal Weapon's a little bit more on the thriller side than it does with the actions much.
There definitely is action.
The first film is known for the chemistry between Glover and Gibson, with a few things like Busey and the fight at the end.
Right.
Maybe
Mr. Joshua?
Yeah, or just an action beat or two, but like Die Hard's across the board, every action sequence is a golden one, and everyone knows it by heart.
Yeah, and I think...
You get the Lethal 2, and it's like hot on it.
Not to say, okay, here's where...
Gets off the edge.
I'm done. It's fucking Labyrinth.
Labyrinth, yes.
Only not done by Jim Henson. It's funny because that looks like The Howling, and it feels like Jim Henson, but it looks like The Howling. What the fuck is this?
Oh my god. Oh.
Somebody explain to me what is happening. Why does he ever go back to being an old man?
In Cattrall, since she didn't actually have like real green eyes, this was back when they had the soft contacts. It was more like the hard contact lenses for that stuff. To put in the colored lenses.
Yeah.
They had to put them in and out all day long.
Oh, that's gonna suck.
They had to get some specific on set to do that for. Have been exhausting, I'd imagine. Because those things, I've heard, are not terribly comfortable, the hard lenses.
And Wong sounds like a character on Sesame Street.
Lopan,
yeah. Hong. Did I say Wong? Hong.
You said Wong. James Hong.
Hong. I can't get the fucking name right.
We got Hongs, Wongs, and Wangs.
Right, they're right. There's so many Hong, Wong, Wang.
We're way too American for this.
Oh my god. But like his voice is so like high pitched and sped up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they almost augmented it. Oh, the Chang sings with the honks and wanks. every. Is there any Chinese last name that has 2 syllables?
You're asking the wrong fella.
I mean, everyone in this movie is not.
Li, Lao, Wang, whatever you want to Chang.
Hong, Dong, Hu, Shen.
Wu.
Right. There's none of them that are 2 syllables.
Keep it shortened to the point, man. They try to pronounce some German last name. There's like 12 syllables, and you get lost halfway through.
Eastern European that have no vowels.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Jesus
Some
Christ.
Czechoslovakian thing.
Right.
Oh.
Just the word Czechoslovakia is already 6 times longer than one last name in China.
Oh.
What's with her lapel pins? She's got a Mario mushroom. Or it's that thing. What's the
yin yang? Maybe I don't know. Doesn't look quite that way.
No, what's the thing I'm thinking of? Like the Dragon Ball Z or Pokemon?
Oh yeah,
the red and white ball
that,
thing.
Yeah.
I don't know any of that shit.
I could tell. I mean, she looks really wonderful in the film. I mean, she's always been pretty attractive as it is.
What was her claim to fame? Was it Sex and the City?
Sex and the City, she got on that. Was she the one in Mannequin? Or am I thinking someone else?
Oh, I haven't seen
It says she was in Porky's before this. This is like a supporting role. Give me a second.
I don't think so. I could be wrong, but I don't think so.
I'm probably wrong. I don't know shit. She was in Police Academy.
Yeah.
That's probably more what I'm thinking of. Another comedy of the time.
There's literally only one good thing about Mannequin, and that is the Diane Warren song, Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now.
Okay.
Nominated for Best Original Song, and she got fucked. I think the Dirty Dancing song won.
No, she was in Mannequin.
All right, well,
okay, so
that shows you how much I paid attention.
She's in Bonfire of the Vanities. That one didn't go too far, I don't think. No, that one did not go far.
What in the world are you wearing?
Oh, interesting enough, this set is the Ghostbusters firehouse set.
Oh, really?
They just redressed the whole thing. They even got the pole here.
Is that real?
It's the actual set.
Huh.
It was probably just on a backlot somewhere. I mean, the exterior is actually in New York.
Yeah, I know.
But this is the exact same set they used. So I don't know whose backlot they're using.
That blows my mind. And I don't love that movie either, as you know.
And that weekend you're seeing Gremlins, not Ghostbusters.
That's 100% right. I would watch Gremlins right now. That guy looks like $1 million.
Oh, yeah.
I would love to look like that. I don't have the discipline to look like that.
No, me neither.
I decide to, work out one day. And then I'm like, well, I'm done with that.
For a couple month or two.
Right. I never understood this. Ceremonial, whatever the fuck. Dancing?
Sure.
Is this dancing? It's a presentation?
Yeah. Doesn't seem like it really kind of tells me anything about it.
Oh, you mean like the goddamn Muppet monster that's in the sewer?
Or this shit. It's fucking Goonies. Probably a set from the Goonies, too. Just cobble it all together.
No, the Goonies is way better than this.
Saying the sewer underground
God,
shit.
I love the Goonies.
40th anniversary coming up soon. They're doing theatrical engagements this month for it.
Are they really?
I think so.
Should go check that out. He's still going.
He's still going. Usually you have a ritual, there'll be some kind of like chants going on, or you're burning some kind of incense. I don't know.
I really don't understand what's happening. Like, I get that he wants to marry one or both of them. Now this pajama guy is gonna prance around. And he's got them both in a trance or some shit, which means that they can't even watch. They're not even selling it because...
Right.
So all of this is for low pan, not for the ladies. Oh, don't grab that. You'll cut yourself. I really would love to look like that. Now they're lightsabers. I think. I don't know.
Voltron's blazing sword.
Well, I'm so confused by all of it. That guy's got a really big neck. Show that guy again. Come on, go back to the neck guy. Oh, what a shocker. Ah, damn. They gotta show that guy again. I know they showed him a couple times. But good Christ. Are you fucking kidding
me? It doesn't
me?
even look that good.
What in the actual fuck is happening?
They're going all the way with it. You're going crazy fantastical bullshit. You might as well go all the way with that.
I guess. Look at that clown paint that they got on. I like the Peacockian version more than the other one. Look at this fucking giraffe. The guy's got a 12-inch neck. Look at this shit. That's not right.
It's like the He-Man guy in Mecha Neck.
I don't know what he is. Inspector Gadget. That goddamn Stretch Armstrong.
Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, I don't know. His hair still looks pretty good for rolling around in the underground.
Full product.
Yeah, he looks great. He always looks great. He looks great today.
Oh, yeah. He hasn't lost a hair on that head.
When you land in a pile of fish that look like pieces of rubber, there's soles of shoes.
Oh.
Just shoe soles. That.
Couple of rats.
Oh, my God.
That's a little too much. I'm going to fry that up a little bit first.
I like sushi. I would never just take a bite out of a raw fish, though. Just hold the tail and bite the head.
With a fucking sausage or something.
If you're gonna tell me a fairy tale, like, that's fine.
Okay.
I like rules. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, if everyone here is as knowledgeable about Lo Pan as they claim to be, they would have known the legacy of needing to marry the green-eyed girl from the beginning. And it all would have made sense, and they would have said, here's the legend, here's the plot, let's save the girl.
Sure.
Then it would have been a fairy tale, and I would have been okay with that. But, you know what I mean?
Like, I feel like there's a little too much exposition all the way through.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, it should have been thrown together like the beginning of the second act.
All of the visuals make no sense.
Yeah.
And don't go with any of the story. Like, if the story is guy needs to marry girl to break curse, that's fine. That's a story.
Okay.
But green eyes and lightning and fucking Muppets coming out of the wall. I don't get it.
Looking snuffleupagus.
Oh, Snuffy. Love me a Snuff. There's an escalator in this basement.
And the neon. You gotta modernize
This is
it.
1980. Well, it's 86 for sure.
And then it turns into a nightclub and rave goes on or some shit. Disco.
Yeah, I don't know what. I don't know. Oh, and then there's this. Oh, good. Sure, why not? It looks cool.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that he can, it's eyes and he can see through. Like, the concept is cool. I like this one more than I like the other ones.
Okay.
Because they didn't have an explanation.
Sure. They're just there.
At least this has a purpose.
Yes. Your floating head with five dozen eyes, but as long as it serves a purpose, everything's fine.
Well, I like rules. Yeah. You're not just having it on the screen to have it on the screen.
Right. He's tucked in with no belt. No rustle.
What? And the boots is...
Yeah. Breaking all the fashion rules. He's a fashion mess.
Yeah, he's not good.
Shoulders down. No. Shoulders up. Fine.
I mean, I'll say waist up.
Okay.
Is great. I mean, he's got some muscles on him.
Yeah. Fit.
He wears a tank well.
Yeah. Like Steven Seagal has got these little thin women arms. He's got nothing.
No.
I mean, don't be showing that shit off. Seagal never had a body. He never worked out worth a shit. And he just got fat.
Like me.
You're in better shape than Steven Seagal, man.
Well, timestamp that shit for public record. Quote, you're in better shape than Steven Seagal, end quote.
Steven Seagal does fucking fight scenes sitting down on a fucking desk chair.
Yeah, you better make sure to drink that shit.
It's more vapor than liquid.
Right, it's like a bottle of champagne. You know, you pour a little bit in and
It just fizzes up for about 5 inches.
Right. 80% of it is fizz. What?
I like the fact that Victor Wong, he's so just committed to the entire thing. He might not have a fucking clue what the hell he's saying either. But he's committed to saying it and making you believe it.
You're right. There is something
He's a great actor.
Very respectable about that.
Yeah. And he's also in Golden Child, too. So he slipped that in his schedule.
All smiles in this elevator except for Wong, who can't.
Yeah, sadly.
Oh, he can half.
He can half.
He got a half. Apparently it's Festivus, because that guy back there's got
a pole.
The aluminum pole.
Barely fits in the fucking elevator.
He's got a lot of problems with you people, and now you're going to hear about it.
Now it's time for the feats of strength.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all coming together. I will now knit you a sweater. The Needle of Love.
Needle of Love. I've heard that in the 90s.
Yeah. That was a Billy Idol song, right?
Cradle of Love.
Oh! Looks like that thing they used to do the COVID tests with. It went right up into your brainstem.
Did one of those once.
Oh,
Thankfully, it came back negative.
I did more than one. I had my brain poked a couple of times. It was not enjoyable.
That old Egyptian thing with the sarcophagus, they just dig the fucking brain out the nose.
Yeah, it was like a coat hanger situation. Because they didn't have the technology to just cut the head open.
No.
Isn't it crazy that, like, your nose is...
Like right there?
Like, your brain is technically exposed via your nose cavity.
It's wild.
Isn't that nuts?
Uh-oh. And whatever effect they did with that fucking puppet, like, is smooth as shit. You'd think it'd be like stop motion animation, but it's way too smooth for that. I don't know what the hell they did to make that happen. There we go.
Oh boy. You dummy. At least they're consistent.
Yeah. It's just inept enough.
Right, and, you know, everybody else is just so advanced.
Right.
Like, that is so ridiculous, but I guess it's entertaining. But to your point, I can't imagine anybody in 1986 going to sit in the cinema.
And really grasping it, yeah. Having as much of exposure to this type of, like, Chinese fantasy. It really just hadn't come over yet. I mean, again, 86, I mean, we're getting up on the boom of video rental stuff, but I can't imagine there's that much stuff coming up from across the world. I feel like much more in the 90s, you'd start discovering more of that stuff as imports coming over. American distributors kind of bringing some of those films over as like niche titles.
Yeah, I mean, even in the rental boom of like a couple of years after this, between 89 and 92 or 3.
Real hot.
Like, you could find some things.
Your Columbia House, you could order stuff here and there.
8 films for a penny. With the promise of having to pay, you know, $30 a piece for 3 or 4 more.
Yeah.
It all worked out in the end.
Yeah.
I did BMG, not Columbia House.
Okay. My dad had one or the other.
Well, that's what those boots are for. Like, this is so ridiculous. Like, let's jump in the air back and forth.
They barely hit each other a few times. I mean, they weren't doing, like, wire work or anything. They just had acrobats on trampolines for this stuff.
That tracks.
It's still going to get really fucking out there.
Oh, more than it has been? It is so ridiculous that it becomes fun. Like, I think some of these fight scenes...
point. This is out of control.
So they can both shoot lasers out of their ass.
Like, how does this make any sense?
And the lasers each have an avatar that... Good versus evil.
I mean, it seriously looks like Masters of the Universe right here. Look at He-Man and Skeletor.
I'm almost speechless. Was that the neck guy?
Yeah.
I'm... It's so bizarre. It is so bizarre. Finish him! Now, does Wang have contacts in too?
It looks like he had some kind of like fiery eye thing. I don't know if it was like a
just a reflection
type of thing.
That's Chinese for your neck is too big. How is his hair still perfect?
The product, man.
I need to start using
the
product.
80s product was no good for the ozone, but it's perfectly fine for the mullet.
Oh no, not this fucking guy again.
Kicked him in the nuts.
That thing has nuts?
Yes, it's come somewhere.
So, all of this is taking place in the bowels of Chinatown, yes?
Yes.
And there are elevators and escalators.
It's like it's a fucking mall.
Well, it's like there's the Pedway in Chicago.
Chinatown's been around for like 100 years at this point or something.
It's like the Pedway in Chicago.
Right,
like, there's a whole city underground.
Oh yeah, it's peculiar. It's interesting. I've been there.
And let's make out in the elevator.
Yeah, sure. Well, I wait for the elevator to get where it's going.
I'm not opposed to making out in an elevator.
You got some time to kill, and then.
Look at that TV. What do you think that vase costs? What do you think each of those statues cost?
Oh.
Those little Buddhist guys. Look at the ears on them things. Here's some John Wayne.
Yeah.
Swag.
Swagger. Yeah. It comes just flying in here.
I remember thinking, because at the very beginning he's in the truck and he does the old, the line about
the CV.
Paying the dues
CV
or whatever.
radio.
Yeah, like I thought that it was going to be a catchphrase that came back time after time.
Yeah, hasn't come back much.
But the catchphrase is, you know what Jack Burton says in a time like this, and the fact that it's different every time is what's supposed to be funny.
Okay. Yeah.
You know?
Sure.
Like, there's two ways to go about it. You either have him always say something different, which is comedy.
Yeah.
Or
he tries to get the same thing over.
Or you use the same line like three different situations and it works in all three. I think the former is funnier, which is what they were going for. Oops. That was unnecessary.
Yes.
And the backflips. Oh my god. Like, I guess it's funny. Oh, you really pissed him off now. Is this where he hulks up?
Oh, yeah.
He's so... Oh, boy. A wafer thin mint. Can you imagine being so angry that you just inflate until you burst?
A few times I felt that way.
I don't get it. I just don't get it. What good is that doing, sir?
Probably that.
Yeah, but why wouldn't it...
Right, but if they're already escaping through the top hatch, it ain't gonna do you much good either way.
But if that electricity causes that much destruction...
Right.
It would also be causing him harm. There's some Batman shit here.
Yeah.
I don't know if that would go that swimmingly, but, you know, whatever.
Sustain as much weight.
Yeah. Yeah, drop a Buddhist on him. There you go. You did it. All right, Wang. I'm so confused. Why would his truck just be here?
It's gotta be somewhere, I suppose. Again, convenience of the plot.
And now there's cops?
Out of nowhere. That's weird.
Well, there go the cops. If Kurt Russell wasn't in this movie, I feel like it would be unwatchable.
Okay.
He's so angry.
I don't know who else they could have got that would even understand what they were going for.
I don't understand what they were going for.
Well, I mean, just in terms of the Burton character, his characterization amongst the film. You're just thinking about other action stars at the times, like either they're too old, they're completely wrong, or they got too much ego about them to really kind of get it. Like Stallone wouldn't fit, I don't think.
No.
Stallone would take over the whole fucking movie. It wouldn't work. You go like the canon guys like Chuck Norris, he doesn't have the charisma for it. He doesn't have the comedy chops for it.
No, I think you need a not action star.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Is it? I don't know. Oh, really? You're going to pick up on that? I do like nothing or double verbiage. That's kind of a Stephen King thing, to take a very common phrasing, idiom,
and flip it a little,
and just change a word so that it feels regional.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you're like, oh, I'm familiar with that, but I never said it like that. That must be local to where they are.
Yeah.
And just that little thing puts you, it's so good.
Yeah.
He's the best.
Fortunately, the next couple of things will not exemplify his best qualities.
You know what?
Not entirely, anyway. But they'll be hell of fun.
How did these two become friends anyway? Like, that part's never really...
No. I see, Dennis Dunn, he's really good in the whole thing. He really is just sharp in this role of Wang.
Wang, yeah. He's great.
Yeah.
Especially the backflips. Those were great.
Yes.
I'm sure he did them.
Yeah.
Brown Maganin? Yeah, boy. Like, who is he talking to?
Whoever's listening, I guess. Just such a blowhard that he just...
Right, yeah. Oh, God damn it.
And that's so much like we're going to do a sequel. Like, you ain't getting no sequel for this one.
Well, no, you gotta make 2 nickels in order to...
Yeah.
And they did not.
Yeah.
They did not. You said that it only made like $10 million?
$11 million off of like almost a $25 million budget. That's harsh.
Yeah, that's not good.
It was the fact that... I mean, Carpenter just felt like the studio just completely just shunned him. It didn't give him a fair shake of the whole thing. But
he's complained about that on every studio film. Every one of them.
I can see the whole thing is okay. You hired me on to do the thing nice, quick, and fast because we might get ahead of the other film that's coming out that's a similar type of film from the rival studio. I deliver the film. It comes in under budget, comes in on time, and they don't put the marketing muscle behind it. They give it kind of a... Problem is, back then, you didn't have as many things like from the studio. You're going to release a film back-to-back that's almost like the exact same sort of summer blockbuster, like a week and a half later, another summer blockbuster from the same studio. Just didn't happen typically.
Right.
And the fact is they kind of like rushed it up. They still beat the other film by 6 months. But it was just the fact, I mean, I can see where Carpenter's coming from in that regard, that he did everything the studio asked of him. Then they didn't really put any marketing muscle behind it. They didn't understand the film. They kind of shortchanged it in the marketing and the just putting it out in theater. Just trying to push the film as much, and just kind of put together a trailer that didn't represent the film as nicely, and it just kind of forgot about it, and they just moved on to the Cameron film that made all the money in the world that year. So I could just feel like Carpenter just kind of went back to more the independent stuff and just kind of doing things the way he wanted. Even like we said, like we did the Prince of Darkness, that They Lived commentaries or anything like that, and they're not as big a productions of this stuff, but they at least allowed him the freedom to do what he wanted.
And he wrote both of those, right?
I think so. I know Prince of Darkness, he did like pseudonyms because he did like 5 different things on the film.
Oh, okay.
So I can see where he's coming from, the whole thing, but yeah, there's a lot of ones where he felt like he put a lot of his effort into it. He delivered the film that he wanted, and it just didn't take off. It's just one of those filmmakers that really kind of felt like he was just kind of ahead of the curve, and people didn't catch on to it until it's at the box office or he was done with it. Richard Warlock, Dick Warlock.
Yeah, it was Tommy Lee Wallace was the second director.
Yeah. Jeff Amata, who I think is the first time Carpenter worked with Amata. We'd worked with him on like a bunch of other films after this. I think Amata worked on Lethal Weapon and a bunch of other stuff.
The song written by John Carpenter.
Yeah. Yeah. Coupe de Villes was his band with Wallace and I think Nick Castle.
Oh, okay.
Or someone like that.
Is this Tommy Lee Wallace on vocals?
No, it's Carpenter. They might have switched back and forth. But the deep voice is Carpenter. It's a goofy-ass music video if you ever find it.
I've never seen it.
It's as cheap as fucking crap. I mean, it's 86. They're using those cheap fucking video effect things. It looks really rough, but...
I can't believe you've now done 200 commentaries. What? I remember you asking me, like, hey, do you think this would be a fun thing to do?
Yeah.
And we were like, yeah, let's try it.
Yeah.
Now we're 8 years later, 200
Yes.
for you.
Yes.
So, all right, well, in 6 months, I'll have 200.
Yes. So he's 12 behind me, so look forward to more great stuff, guys.
All right, we'll see you next month.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.